So today we have questions and answers. The first question says, are God and life one? May I know who is asking this question? Yeah. So life is an emanation of God. It's His expression. There is a God that is immanent, and a God that is beyond time, beyond duality. Life is this immanent God that manifests all the planes of creation, the whole universe, and what is contained in the universe. Nature of life is infinite. Religions usually say that at some point God created life or creation. Life and creation is the same thing. But I don't believe in this. I believe that there was never a beginning and never there will be an end. Maybe this universe was created at some point, but before this universe, what was there? Maybe there was another universe. It's possible that this universe at some point will go back squeezing down into nothing. But then there will be another universe. It's like the cell. One cell dies and two cells are created. So it never dies. Everything keeps dying and being reborn continuously. We ourselves die all the time, because so many cells in our body keep dying every moment. But from the death of one cell, two cells are created. And then when this body will die, eventually, we will have a time of rest into the plane that we deserve to go to for a period, and then we come back again into this world. So the same is with life and the universe. The same laws apply to everything, from the tiniest particle of matter to the immense universe. It's always the same process that keeps repeating. So Master Kirpal used to say, the creation or life is like the dress of the Lord. It is His manifestation, and He endlessly expresses His divine nature in all His creation. Now we can speculate a lot about this. We can say God is transcendental only. There are these theories or doctrines They say it never comes into manifestation. God is only transcendental, and the manifestation doesn't express the full potential of God. Of course, they are two different things. Because when we finally merge into God, it is something different than being in this creation. But even being in this creation, we can experience the divine nature and the divine reality when we are blessed. When the grace descends upon us, then God descends even into this material world and into this material body. So is life God? Yes, it is God. In miniature. It has all the potential of the divine. But we are in this body, we are limited by the senses, by the mind. Consequently, it's the same, but it's not the same. But life as a whole, as we may understand it, as a manifestation into the universe, is definitely divine in nature. And it has all the characteristics, all the qualities and the attributes of God. But as I said, it's not the same when we transcend and we merge into God. It is a different kind of life, it is a different kind of experience. Because down here, in this manifestation, there are so many factors that condition life. Time, space. In God there is no time, there is no space. So here we are limited. We are divine in nature, but we don't experience it most of the time, unless we are really blessed. But when we say, but is the will of God, or is life wants it, it is the same. We mean the same thing. Life and God are the same. Everything is moved by the will of God in this creation and in life, of course. There is the saying, not even a leaf moves if God doesn't want it. So learning to perceive God in all the happenings of life, must be our skill, our capacity. This awareness of the divine action in life and in creation is something that we acquire by developing a third eye. An eye that doesn't see through the physical eyes, through the senses, and through the intellect, but by direct experience, by insight. When they say, my third eye is opened, it doesn't mean that there is a third eye in the middle of our forehead, that it opens up. It's the eye of perception. of receptivity. It's the eye of intuition, of insight, through which we see things that normally we don't see with these other eyes. So this is a process that goes on all through life. This developing the perception of God. Developing the perception of God means seeing Him in action in all the events of life. Cultivating this attitude of seeing right away, whenever anything happens, the hidden hand of God. Whether we like it or not, it requires much more wisdom to see the hand of God at work when something happens that we don't like. Normally people, when something happens and they don't like, they say it's a disgrace, it's a curse. And this is what makes life miserable for people. They're not able to see the hidden hand of God behind the event. That even if at first it seems to be a disgrace or something uncomfortable, suffering, but everything is moved by the hand of God. So it must be His will behind any event. So the attitude of accepting and understanding and trying to find out why this happens, which is the lesson that I have to learn from this, instead of blaming others for what happens or blaming God. We should rather see everything that happens as a lesson through which we have to learn something. Difficult situations are often a blessing. Crises are opportunities because we adapt to life, to, become lazy. We are not active anymore. We go into a thought pattern which doesn't take us anywhere. So God has to shake us by some means, awake us. So something happens by which we are compelled to move on and do something. Whenever we adapt to a situation, we take it for granted. We have no gratitude or interest anymore. Then something happens by which we be shaken, awakened, and compelled to move on. So we should stop blaming others and blaming life and blaming God for what happens to us. It's always a lesson through which we have to learn something. And this is life that manifests all of this. Or you can say God manifests all this. But you can also say life. We don't care about things then we lose things. They're taken away from us. We don't appreciate things. Then we lose them. Also the path. We come on the path with so much enthusiasm. That's why I guess we come on the path, because we are really interested in doing something with our life, in achieving something. But then by and by we go to sleep. We lose interest. We just drag ourselves. Because we don't really practice. Because the path is an alive something. It needs action. We have to act on it. We have to do our spiritual practice. If we don't do it, then by and by we lose interest in it. Not because the path doesn't work, as I say often, but because we don't work. It's like Sanji used to give all the time this example of a gardener that plants, plants into the garden, trees, vegetables, whatever. And when you plant them, maybe it's nice. The act of digging the ground and putting the plants. If you like it, it's very nice. I do it all the time with my garden. But if after planting the plants I don't water them, then what's the use of planting them? If I don't dig the ground again around the plant, if I don't take out all the grass that keeps growing, means if I don't take care of it, then it will die off. It will be suffocated by the grass, or it will be dried because no water. So it needs care, attention. Sanji was a farmer, so that's what he knew. That how to cultivate things, how to take care of them, so that they may grow and give you fruits. So the same is with our life in general, and especially with the practice, spiritual practice. Initiation, Master Kirpal used to say, is like planting a plant. Satsang is like a fence around the plant or around the garden. If you don't put fence around the garden, then you get all possible animals into it that destroy it right away. So satsang is this kind of fence which keep reminding us of what implies to be on the path, what it means to be on the path, what we have to do on the path, how we have to act in order to progress and keep going. And the spiritual practice is like watering the plant of initiation. If you don't do spiritual practice, it's like not watering the plants. They die off. So also our enthusiasm, our will of acting is like watering the plants. If you do that, then the plants of initiation keeps growing and we become more and more awakened. We more and more see the reality, because it's a matter of piling up experience after experience. Then you build up something like a store inside of you of so many beautiful experiences which confirm and reconfirm again and again what is the truth, what is God, what are the inner hidden secrets of life. So God is life and life is God, definitely. There are so many impediments that we people have. In Santa Mata they always mention lust, anger, greed, attachment, egoism. In Punjabi they say Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Sanji used to mention it always and always, again and again. But there is one of them which is not included in this, which is the worst of all, and that's laziness. You can have the others, the other 5. But if you're not lazy, you have a hope. But you may be deprived of the other ones and be lazy. You get nowhere. So we have to be active people. We have to stick to our determination of achieving God in this very life. It's so important to be deeply convinced that I am going to realize God in this very lifetime. I'm not going to wait for another lifetime. Sanji used to say, now you have a physical body, but you don't have a guarantee that in the next life you will have a physical body. Maybe you won't have a physical body. I mean, a human body, sorry. So why wait for another life in which maybe you won't have a human body? Because if you don't behave properly in this lifetime, maybe you won't get a human body again. In the beginning, when I met Sanchi, he used to talk a lot. It was very much a central topic in his satsangs. This going back to other life forms. You don't have a guarantee that now you have a human body, but doesn't mean that you always get a human body. You know, Master use methods to keep us awake, you know. Sometimes they say nice things, sometimes they scare us with some stories. So his often theme was, you don't have a guarantee. Maybe you'll be born like a pig, or like a cow, or like a donkey. So now you have a human body. So act. Try to realize that which we can only realize through a human body. We have never seen a Buddha in the body of a donkey. I don't know about. I never heard that a donkey became a Buddha, or a Christ, or an enlightened being. So it's only the human being that can realize, that has this potential of realizing God. So now we have this human body, let's use it for this purpose. I myself, very often, when something happens, I don't say it's God's will, I say it's life. Because it's really the same. What life wants from me is what God wants from me. It's easier to see life in action because life moves everything. So when something happens, I always think, what life wants from me now. It's basically the same. That's the beauty of, and the good luck of having a master. Master Kirpal used to say the master is the one that revolutionizes your thought patterns. We very often get into thought patterns which lead nowhere, only into darkness, stagnation and deterioration. So we go to the master, we listen to his satsang, and through the satsang he revolutionize our way of thinking, our convictions, and again brings in the forefront of the attention, which is the main purpose of life, which is realizing God. So we are in this world, we have to live this life with all of what implies life. But the main purpose of coming into this world and acquiring a human body is really realizing God. So we should use this body, we should honor this gift which has been given to us and try to come as close as possible to divine realization. So the second question says, a serious disease, cancer, in a life of a satsangi is a part of his or karma, or it is given because the satsangi is neglecting the practice of meditation, but doesn't turn away from the path. I don't think there is really a difference between a cancer for a satsangi and a cancer for a non-satsangi. Cancer is always a deep reason for happening in the life of a human being. You want to translate for her?
Yes. Ugye valójában nincs egy különbség, hogy egy satsangi vagy nem satsangi ember lesz rákos.
There are many theories about how cancer comes, why it happens in the life of a human being.
Nagyon sok teória létezik arról, hogy valaki miért lesz rákos, hogy honnan miért jön a rák, mi az oka.
So many reasons. Pollution, the food we eat, lifestyle, so many theories that are about why cancer happens.
Tehát ahogy mondtam, nagyon sok teória van erről, hogy miért történik a rák, a szennyeződés miatt, szennyezettség miatt, az étel miatt, amit megeszünk, az életstílus miatt, nagyon sok okot felsorolnak.
It might be very much a psychological reason, something that happens in our life that really puts us off, you know.
De lehet pszichológiai oka is, hogy valami történik az életünkben, ami igazán kiakaszt bennünket.
A wise man asked once, do you die because of cancer, or cancer comes because you have to die?
Egyszer egy bölcs ember megkérdezte, hogy a rák miatt halsz meg, rákban halsz meg, vagy a rák azért történik veled, azért jön hozzád, hogy meghalljál.
Anyway, it's a process through which we are very deeply shaken, of course. When somebody is told that, look here, you, dear one, you have a cancer, I think it's a very great shock.
De ez mindenképpen egy nagyon sokkoló élethelyzet, egy sokkoló folyamat, amikor közlik veled, hogy rákos vagy, és meg fogsz halni.
You are shaken into your roots, really.
Egész a gyökereidig megrendülsz, alapjaidban megrendülsz.
So then all the futile, all the unnecessary things of life really step backwards, and what comes forward in the forefront is the priorities of life.
És akkor minden szükségtelen dolog az életben háttérbe szorul, és ami előtérbe kerül, az mind az élet prioritásai, ami fontossá válik.
If before this happens we are told you have to change your lifestyle, you have to change your diet, you have to change your habits, we don't do it. But when this happens, then we really do it, because we really are facing that, and that gives us the strength to change.
Mert hogyha azelőtt, hogy mondjuk valaki rákot kapna, azt mondják, mielőtt rákos lennél, hogy változtasd meg az életstílusodat, változtasd meg a diétádat, az étkezésedet, akkor nem fogod megtenni. De bezzeg, ha közlik veled, hogy rákos vagy, akkor azonnal, mivel a halállal kell szembenézned, készen állsz a változásra.
Again, maybe if we lived a different lifestyle, cancer wouldn't come to us. But it comes to shake us again from our bad habits, from sleepy lifestyle.
Lehet, hogy ha másféle életstílust folytatunk, akkor nem jött volna az életünkbe a rák, de meg lehet, hogy azért érkezik el, hogy újra felrázzon bennünket ebből a alvó, szunnyadó állapotból, és megváltoztasson bennünket.
I heard so many stories of people getting cancer, going through whatever period of life they have been left with. And anyway, before dying, telling that this was really a blessing, this is what has really changed me to something else.
Nagyon sok olyan történetet hallottam, amikor emberek rákosok lettek, és keresztül mentek egy időszakon az életükben, egy ilyen vagy olyan időszakon, és az életük végére elérkezve azt mondták, hogy valójában ez az egész egy áldás volt, mert ez volt az, ami igazán valamivé változtatott engem.
So it is the same basically, either for a satsangi or a non-satsangi. When we get a disease like this, then we are really shaken, and we really give importance to what's important and neglect what's not important.
Hát ezért mondom, hogy nincs különbség, hogy egy satsangi vagy nem satsangi életébe jön el egy ilyen betegség, mert ez az, ami valóban megrázza az embert, és ezért nincs különbség.
The pity is that if a person, by going through some therapy, eventually recovers and gets rid of cancer and doesn't die, then some time passes and they go back being exactly what they were before.
A sajnálatos, hogy ha megesik az, hogy valaki rákban megbetegszik, majd a terápiák, a változások hatására meggyógyul belőle, majd ezt követően az idő múltával visszatér a régi szokásaihoz, és ugyanolyanná válik pontosan, mint volt.
Because the habit, or the habits that we have are even stronger than our fear of death.
Mert valójában a szokások, a szokásaink sokkal erősebbek, mint a halálfélelmünk.
And once we think, okay, I'm out of it, then they go back again being the same.
És ha egyszer azt gondolják, hogy na, ezen túl vagyok, akkor visszatérnek a régi dolgokhoz.
Then at some point, the second time, cancer comes back and they are dead in no time.
De ilyenkor lehet, hogy az történik, hogy a rák visszatér egy második alkalommal, és az illető rövid időn belül életét veszti.
And that's a blessing, because if you are misusing your life, if you're going adrift in your life, better you die than piling up bad karma.
És ha ez így történik, akkor ez valójában egy áldás. Mert ahelyett, hogy csak elhasználnád, feleslegesen elpocsékolnád az életedet, szükségtelen rossz karmát felhalmozva, sokkal jobb, hogyha meghalsz.
Every action we perform brings a reaction. So, if our life takes a turn in which we keep building up bad actions, means bad karma, then better to die. It's a blessing to die.
Mert minden cselekedet, vagy minden tett, amit cselekszünk, az elhozza maga a reakcióját. És hogyha csak felhalmozzuk ezeket a rossz cselekedeteket, rossz karmákat, amik negatív reakciókat hoznak később, akkor tényleg sokkal jobb ezt elkerülni és elengedni az életet.
There are many situations. There are people that fight with cancer for so many years, keeps going and ongoing, and it all goes according to our needs, really. Nature or life doesn't make a mistake.
Vannak esetek, amikor emberek hosszú éveken át harcolnak a rákkal, de mondhatnánk azt is, hogy ez mindig a helyzetnek megfelelően történik, mert állítható, hogy a természet soha nem követel hibákat.
Sometimes these diseases come to people who are very good people, who don't have really bad habits. They live a good lifestyle, but yet they get it.
Néha olyan emberek kapják meg ezt a betegséget, akik nagyon jó emberek, nincsenek rossz szokásaik, nem halmoznak rossz karmát, és mégis megkapják a betegséget.
Normally good people do not survive. When they get it, they die.
És a legtöbbször a jó emberek nem élik túl, hogyha megkapják ezt a betegséget, meg is halnak.
Because it's not so much meant to correct anything in their life, but it's just to take them out from this world.
Mert akkor ezzel nem igazán arra hivatott, hogy megváltoztasson bármit az életükben, hanem arra való, hogy kivigye őket ebből az életből.
And one way or another, they have to leave this body at some point.
És egy ponton, ilyen vagy más módon el kell hagyniuk ezt a testet.
So it doesn't mean that a person who gets cancer is a bad person. Necessarily, it can be, but not necessarily. One can be a very good person and get a very heavy disease, which may be cancer or an autoimmune disease, several things.
Tehát, ha valaki rákban megbetegszik, az nem azt jelenti, hogy ez az illető rossz ember, vagy megérdemli, az lehet egy jó ember is. Hogy megbetegszik rákban, vagy más nagyon súlyos betegségben, autoimmun betegségben.
Usually people that get healed from this, let's say cancer, is because they really change drastically their lifestyle, especially their diet.
De legtöbbször akkor történik meg, hogy az emberek meggyógyulnak, tegyük fel, például a rákból, hogyha drasztikusan megváltoztatják az életstílusukat, különösen az étkezésüket.
If you are not able to do that, then yes, you may go through the usual therapies like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, what the allopathic medicine proposes. Sometimes we are healed, very often we are not.
De ha nem így teszünk, akkor keresztül mehetünk a mindenféle terápiákon, a kemoterápián, sugárkezeléseken, mindazt, amit az allopatikus gyógyászat kínál a számunkra, de legtöbbször ez nem gyógyítja meg az embereket.
Sometimes there are people that get cancer and they somehow get healed through a very specific method that they apply to their life, and they invent, somehow a way of getting rid of cancer, and then they are healed because they are meant to teach or to propose this method to many other people, and this way help many other people to recover. that's God's play, that's God's will if things go this way. There are many stories of this kind.
Nagyon sok olyan történet is van, hogy valaki megbetegszik, és úgy gyógyul meg, hogy kitalál egy módszert, amit saját magán alkalmaz, és ezáltal meggyógyítja saját magát. És ez Isten tervezésének a része is, hiszen így ezáltal, hogyha ezt megcsinálják, akkor arra hivatottak, hogy ezt másoknak is megtanítsák, és elmondják másoknak is, és segítsenek másoknak is meggyógyulni.
Like there is this J. Cordich, for instance, he died some few years ago. He was a man, American. I know the story because I've been a lot in touch with his wife. And at some point in the 40s or beginning of the 50s, he developed cancer in his bladder, and at the time it was not even chemotherapy or radiotherapy. So somebody suggested to him to go on juicing, just with juice of fruit juice and vegetable juice for a long period, and that maybe it could be healed. So he tried, and he went on 2 years, living only on juices, vegetable juices and fruit juices, and he recovered. He died a couple of years ago when he was 94 years old, and this happened to him when he was in his 20s. And this way then he developed a method by which he was able to help so many other people recovering from these or some other diseases also. There is the story of Dr. Hammer. I don't know if you ever heard about him. He also developed a method by which he was able to help so many people curing from cancer. And so that's another reason why people recover, because they have to discover some method by which they can help many other people recovering.
Ott van például J. Cordich története, aki egy amerikai volt, néhány évvel ezelőtt halt meg, és jól ismerem a történetét, mivel kapcsolatban álltam a feleségével. És J. a 40-es években, vagy az 50-es évek elején megbetegedett a hólyagrákban, és abban az időben nem sok terápiát kínáltak a kezelésre, de valaki tanácsolta neki, hogy próbáljon meg dzsúzokkal kezelni magát, és ő ezt megpróbálta, és annyira belevetette magát ebbe, olyan komolyan csinálta, hogy meggyógyult a rákból. És amikor ez a betegség történt vele, akkor a 20-as éveiben volt, nagyon fiatal volt, és túlélte egy néhány évvel ezelőtt, 94 éves korában halt meg, makkegészségesen, és rengeteg embernek hozott gyógyulást és segítséget, és ő volt az egyik fontos személy, aki elterjesztette a leveknek a fogyasztását, ez milyen egészséges. Vagy ott van például, nem tudom, hogy hallottatok-e Dr. Hammerről, akivel szintén hasonló dolog történt, és ő is egy olyan módszer dolgozott ki, amivel nagyon sok embernek tudott segíteni, és nagyon sok ember változtatta meg az életmódját az ő hatásukra.
So, that's it. So thank you for the questions, and I hope the answers were interesting to you and help for a better understanding. just to continue, there are masters also who died with cancer. Many great masters have died with cancer. Ramakrishna Paramahansa died with cancer in his throat. Ramana Maharshi died with cancer which came in his arm and then took the whole body. Baba Saban Singh also, it is said that he died with cancer. So once we have to leave this world, somehow something happens. Doesn't mean it's because of karma, or I don't think in the case of masters it's karma. I don't believe. But we have to die at some point.